Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. We are anchored. Look at that. Look at that. This has been a wonderful day to get anchored. So we've been waiting out weather for just about a week trying to get out of Fleets Bay. And part of what's going on with Fleets Bay, look at that beautiful little catch. Let me show you. See that? And it's only like 30 feet long. It is a little big boat, or a big little boat. Big little boat. All right, so waiting for the weather. A lot of what's been going on is that just it was really rough, and everything was, the sea state, everything was just bad. You know, no one else has left either. Like we were actually the first ones off the dock after this whole week. There was a catamaran that left shortly after us and outpaced us way before we got out of Fleets Bay, and a couple other people who are getting ready to move on. Now, the thing I figured out about Fleets Bay, though, is that there is just no comfortable getting out of that bay. We had the best possible situation, except for the cross tide. So the tide was coming in and we were leaving, and so we had a slight current against us, and I think that added to a little bit of the sea confusion and the rolling that we had to do. But the way that the water wants to move, the way that the waves, the swells come at you, leaving Fleets Bay with the channel markers and everything, you just cannot do anything but take them on the beam. And we had to do lots of little zigzags, like dozens of little zigzags, to keep that from having an impact on us, because the wind is from the west and we were going just about due east, just slightly south of east, to get out of the bay in the channel, Fleets Bay. And so that means we couldn't put a sail up because there wasn't enough wind. The speed that we were going was just enough that you wouldn't be able to use any sail at all. So no stay sail, and just lots of little zigzaggy, trying to avoid the worst of the swells, because we are a 27-foot boat and it's just really small. And the swells really they weren't waves, they were swells. That was that whole, no white caps, no anything, but it was a solid 2 feet, and it's just a lot to try to take on the beam. Quartering, we did fine. Once we got out, and it took about an hour and a half to get all the way out and all the way done with that. Once we got out and past the point and away from the confusion, it actually came to, lots of swells, but it came to a point where it was just really pleasant. The wind shifted a little bit, and we shifted course, and we knew that was going to happen, and the wind was going to be northwest, and we were going to be going southeast, and it just was never enough wind with the direction we were going to set up a stay sail. We tried, and it wasn't working, but that's okay, because we were basically surfing long period, like 4 or 5 second period, 2-foot swells, and it was just wonderful. It was very pleasant. It was great. There was no problem at all. I had a blast with it. The only problem is it is the middle of November and the sunlight is going to go away really fast. So since we were already sitting at 10 a.m., which means 6 hours until sundown, 6.5 hours until sundown. Well, no, we were sitting at 10:30. We decided to go ahead and make it a short run and go to the south side of Deltaville. So that's the Piankatank River. Now, if we needed to, if the weather got bad and everything changed, we could sit out here for weeks and anchor out. The Piankatank has a bridge upriver that actually we can clear. It's a 43-foot bridge, and we are 39 feet. I call it 40 just to be safe, because we are a little tiny boat, Catalina 27. So we could even go upriver if things got really weird and freaky, which they're not. We don't have that weather pattern coming. Tomorrow's supposed to be the same as today, which means that if we go ahead and take an early start, do a really quick dog dinghy run early in the morning, get the dinghy up, and we're ready to go, and we get out like roughly the same time we did today, we've already got a couple hours of sea time forward, so we might be able to make York. If we don't, we'll make Mob Jack, and then Tuesday maybe we'll make York. Tuesday's the last predicted good day of weather, and then after that it gets kind of weird and crazy for a little while. And that's why it would be really nice to be in York, because we could either use a marina or use the anchorage next to the marina there, and we can wait it out for a week if we have to, which it looks like we're gonna have to. The other side of that, and it's probably not going to happen because we are just a slow boat, but the other side of that potentially is that we could make York tomorrow, and we could go ahead and make Willoughby or some other part of the Hampton and Elizabeth River area on Tuesday. And if we do that, we can just go to the ICW. Even if the weather's bad, we should be able to motor down the Elizabeth to mile 0. That's the hope, you know. It'd be really nice not to have to wait out another week of weather, but if we do, we do. That's just how it goes. The problem is after about 3 days, you really want that marina access, at least part-time, just to get some comfort. Just, it's a weather thing. If it was 10 degrees warmer, none of it would matter, but it's not 10 degrees warmer. So it's nice. It's not necessary, but it's nice. Everything else is fantastic. You know, we lost our sail cover in a storm while we were at the dock, which is kind of freaky, but just happens. So I'm going to be making another sail cover out of tarp for now, and then when we get to a place where I can reliably get shipping to happen, we will go ahead and try to order a inexpensive sail cover, one of the inexpensive pre-made ones from Amazon. They only last about 6 months or a year, but I need to stitch a proper one that has the bits that I want in it. I actually want to do a lazy jack system on this, so that would be the ideal way to do it. And we're going to raise the boom and reduce the mainsail size at the same time, so that's all part of what goes into that. There's no reason doing a whole lot of work in some areas where it's not going to make us any long-term benefit. No sense in spending the money. And I am just rambling on. It's so nice out here, and we are doing really good. My anchor alarm is set. This is the Aquamap anchor alarm, and we're currently at 18 feet from where I said I dropped the anchor. We are theoretically in 5.9 of water. The Hawkeye says we're in 7.3, which is perfectly fine. We're kind of close to shore, but this is a dredged area, and I haven't seen anything below 6. And this is an area with really small tides. The biggest tide on a full moon is going to be 1.3 feet, and then low tide is still going to be at 0.3 up. So even a 6 foot depth is fine. We draw 4, and we could actually anchor in a mean low water of 4.5 and be pretty safe. So I'm not feeling too bad about that. This whole thing is a mess, but there's the Starlink, there's some solar panels, there's an engine. Eventually I'm going to get it all straightened up. There's my vest because it got warm, and that's it. We are so happy to have made a couple miles, 10 miles today, and just have gotten out of the weird freakishness of Fleets Bay, the exiting Fleets Bay. Coming in wasn't so bad. It was rough, but it wasn't quite as bad. There's definitely something about leaving. So anyway, hopefully you guys all find your true love. Look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous, gorgeous craft? And stay sideways.